Welcome to a new spirit that will warm your heart. Welcome to a new spirit. Every day's a brand new start. Where encouraging words can heal your soul and dreams will be renewed. Welcome to a new spirit, a new spirit in you.
What you see is what you get, or what you hear. Welcome to the New Spirit Radio Show by the Society of Novus Spiritus, founded by world-renowned spiritual teacher Sylvia Browne. Today's date, I sure hope we all agree, it's January 26th of 2022. Coming to you live from somewhere from California, both NorCal and SoCal, are your hosts Reverend Tom Bigley and MIT Catherine Taylor, playing audio segments we call Messages from Spirit. Why? Answering that ultimate question, why are we here and what is our purpose?
These segments are recorded trance sessions from Francine, Sylvia's spirit guide. For new people, Sylvia was a full trance medium, which means Sylvia contracted to let her and Francine's essences exchange places in Sylvia's body. And we think of our body as being similar to a car, where one driver gets out and another driver gets in. This allowed Francine to share spiritual knowledge with us directly from the other side.
On occasion, another master teacher and healer, a guide named Rahim, would come and exchange with Sylvia and present us with spiritual information as well. Francine and Rahim shared directly from sources like the Akashic Records, Mother and Father God, our spirit guides when they're helping us, Christ, and many others.
And meanwhile, during trance, Sylvia would sit on a nice bench in a rose garden on the other side.
And here are our hosts, MIT Catherine Taylor and Reverend Tom Bigley.
Hi, Tom. How's it going? Hello.
Well, we're here. We
Yes,
almost
we are.
weren't here. We didn't pay our bill. So I had to slide the credit card. So we're yes, we are moving on and forward, and I trust that whoever's listening can listen, and whoever can see us can see us. Real quick, our outline for this evening: how did you use Novus philosophy? Then we'll talk about special prayers. Let's see, we'll do some trance segments, share the information. We'll have a meditation, closing notes, a novena, so listen for that. We talk a little more about credits, and then there's a prayer by Sylvia towards the end. And I believe I have that prepared because it's been 2 weeks. And then we close with our wonderful song.
Wonderful.
Let's see, so I'm having a challenge here because I'm like hey, okay, everything disappeared on me.
It's totally okay.
Things aren't working exactly the way they intended this week. Anyway,
There's
that's
a
another
lot
story.
of juggling.
Yeah.
There's a lot of juggling in getting this set up, so you're an all-star for making sure everything gets put together. My goodness.
Operates and functions here.
Yes.
Fun. Okay, so what do we normally do? We do what did you share from Novus philosophy? Okay, What do you want to do? Do you want to pick, or do you want to go by chance?
Let's go by chance this time. We haven't done that in a while.
Okay.
Okay.
How does that go? Oh, rock, scissors, paper. Okay. So
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Whoops, hello. Scissors, you win.
Scissors. Okay. All right. I will share something that I used. So it's actually the topic of today, and I won't go into too many spoilers or anything, but I used the meditation that we're going to be listening to today.
Oh, yeah.
And I used it as directed, and I had some really, really powerful results. And so it's a healing technique that we're going to be talking about today from Francine, and it's only supposed to be used by you alone. So you use it on you, and that's it. And so I was like, all right, so I will use it as directed on myself. And It was really, really, really powerful. Like you can actually feel the buzzing of the healing coming through. So that was really cool. So short, sweet, to the point. I won't spoil
Fun.
anything else. So that is what I used. What about you, Tom?
Spoiler alert, there's a
I know.
meditation. Yeah, a helpful meditation. I keep
Yeah,
wanting to
very.
talk about it, but it's like,
I know.
don't say
I
anything.
know.
It's
To sit on my
that's what we're
hands.
trying to, yeah. Um, so I had two. I ended up with two. One kept, I
Ooh,
kept,
cool.
thought of one, and another one kept pestering me. I said, okay, I'll make a note of it. But let's see. Um, uh, oh, so earlier, I had finally managed to put myself to bed early because I convinced myself I got to go to bed. I got to get to bed earlier because I was getting up early, and I was like, okay, as I'm getting settling my mind, I'm pondering some of my fears, and um, a, th- thought a video came to mind that I recently watched about some anti-vaxxers that went into a
Ooh.
coffee shop and started ranting about, "Boo,"
Uh oh.
and they almost looked like they were dressed as militants walking in saying, anti-vax, anti-vax, and I'm like, why?
It's excessive.
But
Why?
anyway, I said,
Sure.
well, okay, what would I do? Should I ignore them? Um, I could ignore them, or I could play charades, stand up in front of them and play charades in front of them
Oh
and
dear.
mock them, or
Oh dear.
yell, yeah, exactly, yell
Oh
an
dear.
insult, yell insult and turn around and expose their insecurity, because basically to me what they're just insecure coming in yelling and screaming, and that's like, to me that's like psychology class one. Some people don't understand class 101. Anyway, beginner psychology, that's usually an insecurity. And I stopped to think, well, okay, what would be the appropriate thing? I guess I came to the conclusion it depends on the situation, and what's the motive. If if
Mm.
I if I stand up and start confronting them, what's my motive? What am I going to solve? What am I going to, what's the purpose behind that? And if I play charades in front of them, what I was thinking of doing was turning my back to them and doing charades with the rest of the people to focus on me instead of them.
Mm.
And so it would be a different game instead of paying attention to them. I don't know how that would go across, but that's what came to mind. But again, what's my motive? So that was the thing that came to mind, is thinking about, okay, injustices, or um, um, well, number one, trying to, what is it? Are you defending or getting even?
Oh.
That's and I don't think there's too much gray in that. When if you stop and think of your own personal situation, is it defense or getting even? So anyway, that's what I had thought about,
Interesting.
and remembering, okay, well, as fun as those thoughts are, um, um, it's I still had to come back and remind myself of, what's my motive.
Yeah, that's. I think that that's a really good thought exercise to do, though. It's like what would I do in this situation, and I think that that's really that really really narrows it down. Of always saying like, okay, well, what's my motive? Because like something that you're really good at always pointing out is everything comes down to motive, motive, motive. To to quote you and Francine. So I think that's a really really good insight. It's really good insight. What would
But I
I do
thought
in this
charades would have been a
circumstance?
fun
What
game anyway.
it really would. It really could. It really could. Mm-mm.
Anyway, that's another. So that's what I had pondered recently.
Very
Uh,
interesting.
what else? Okay, so every time I'm trying to get my where is it? Oh, there it is. To get my um, there now it works. was trying to get my reading notes here in front of me, and every time I do that, the video screen disappears, and I'm like, where'd you go? Anyway, so that's technical difficulties. If I had another computer, we'd probably have more stuff. Anyway, special prayers for those of you that would like to contribute. Yes, now it's time to think about what you like to put your prayers out to. Of course, if you have a special need, by all means, there's several ways you can work with that. You can create your own petition. You can put, what is it? Go to the prayer chain on the website, novus.org, and put a special prayer in there. You can put a note in our, where are we? On the comments. Thank you. You can post it in the comments. We'd be glad to help and share. But regardless, whenever you're listening to this, wherever you are, we're putting energy out to that. So
Absolutely.
let's see. And visualize what it is what is the need. We've heard, well, I've heard several times, Francine, I'm reminded several times, Francine tells us, don't just say, help me, help me, help me. Help you with what?
With what?
So be specific, picture in your mind what it is that you'd like the outcome to be, and go from there. So let's take a moment of silence, and we're all going to put our energy out to support and ask, get those archangels out, get ask Mother God to be out. We're the ones that have to ask to help each other. So let's take a moment and all be quiet, sort of, for a few minutes while we ask for prayers. So. Amen.
Amen.
And of course, be the prayer. If you see a need, fill it. Help someone else out when you see that need there. Let's see if you. I have yet to update this note, but anyway, for those of you that have a challenge of listening or streaming, want to hear us live, you can always listen in to our conference call. You can call 888-534-2696 while we are doing this live, 6 p.m. on Wednesday Pacific time. Yeah, I remember it. That worked. And yeah, that's the way to do it. I know there's a handful of people listening now, which is encouraging that I spent now I'm patting myself on the back, and I said I wouldn't do it. Never mind. Next, we've got a trance segment.
We're very happy to be available. I'm so
there
happy
you go.
that all of you are here.
Let's see. Now we've got trance segments.
All right.
So if you could, that was a fun challenge while you were out the 1 week, trying to remember
gosh.
read. Actually, you know what? I didn't have to read, but I had to take a moment to adjust things. Well, now you're going to read for us the notes while I get us set up and hope that it works properly.
All right. So here we go. The first segment, we're going to continue talking about phobias, where we left off last time. Then the star tool for healing mystery pain. Your body needs oil to run right. Use a silvery blue star localized to the pain. And stars are like doorways to the light. Stars are like doorways to the light.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's try this. Take your notes.
You were meant to come down and learn, but there's whole one side of you that really doesn't know why you're here. Until you make that grand journey back, not necessarily to the other side, but that grand journey that circles the circumference of your lives and comes back to the point of which it came from is yourself. And what you were learning from yourself what you were having to learn, and finding some sort of peace within that. In doing that, then the diminishing of phobias, of fear of death, of annihilation, even of homesickness begins to diminish. Because with the assuredness that you're going to get back and where you are going becomes so eminently knowledgeable, so known to you within every fiber of your being, that it's like saying you've been in prison for a long time, but we will give you the date in which you can be released. And just in knowing the date of release gives you the hope that you could go through the door and be with all your friends again. So we would liken this life to a double cell. Not only this dimension is a cell structure, but the body that inhabits, that you inhabit, your soul self, keeps you encompassed in this imprisonment of flesh. So when you stop and think about all the morphic resonance that you've carried from life after life with undiagnosed pains, and I would really, really give you a great tool to use. And we're going to call it tonight the STAR tool. It sounds very esoteric, but we use it a lot. And this is not one for protection. This is one very, very much for healing. And that has to do with the fact that if you have a pain that is undiagnosed, this is never to intercept medical professional help. But let's say you've exhausted all purposes, all avenues, and you still have an undiagnosed pain. Let us say you have a diagnosed pain in which they can do nothing more for you. If you have any of those two, you're a candidate for what we call the STAR treatment. We do know that there is the treatment that Sylvia had perfected many, many years ago that works very well, in which you put your pain in a safe. You take your pain out of your body, put it in a safe, and you blow up the safe. And this could be any disturbance in the body. Now, it probably wouldn't hurt you. In fact, I know it wouldn't if you put your heart and blew it up in a safe, but I wouldn't do that. I would take the pain around the heart, take the angry, ugly pain, give it a face, make it a fire. The more personalized you can make it, the better it is. Put it in a box or a safe, and then take TNT and blow it up. You've now put that pain away from yourself and used a symbol to utilize it to go away. You put it away from yourself and put it in another place. When you have this other pain, undiagnosed, or diagnosed and nothing can do anything about it, such as arthritic pain, and they don't seem to know that much about it, except that it is a stiffening and a hardening of the joints. And this is really related to the fact that you do not have enough lubrication in your system. And most of your diets are so lacking lubricant. And that's why I do believe that you shouldn't be necessarily on a fat diet, but you've got to have some oil in your system. People rule out all oil. And you don't run a machine without oil. So anything that has to do with lecithin, primrose oil, garlic oil, any of those, vitamin E, those oils are marvelous to lubricate the body. I want you, when you lie down at night, I want you to take a star that is silver blue, as radiant as you can visualize it or make it. And I want you to take that star and I want you to put it around or slap it on the affected area. I guarantee you when you use this star, this silvery blue star, I guarantee you in the quiet of night when you're using this on your stomach or your back or your head, and for goodness sakes, make it in proportion to the area in which you're dealing with. Don't just put over your whole body a great big star. The more localized it is, it's very much like a cortisone shot or a laser. You want to put it in the place in which gives you the most agony. And ask your guides to help you direct, because if you're having problems in the numbness in your hand, for instance, you might want to put the star on the back of the neck. Or ask them to at least lead you in your mind's eye and take your first impression, because I want you to start getting some more reciprocation from your guides and letting them come in. This can also be used for mental acuity as well as calming down the mental anguish. Is put this star right in your, between your eyes, in what the Asians called, or the Buddhists called, the Brumaja area. Brumaja. It was right between the eyebrows in the third eye. Let's say you're having a problem with your knee. You would put a star on your knee. Point upward, other points wrapped around, points down, so that you encompass the whole knee. The heart area, make it spiral out, at least large enough that it is really, really getting rid of all the problems in the arteries. This silver blue star is probably the most powerful to use. It has not been given before because I don't want it used lightly. I don't want you to go to bed tonight and just use it for just any reason. If you have a mental problem, such as distress, then use it. But don't use it that frequently. Not because it runs out of battery juice. It's just only to be used for the most extraneous of times, the most extreme of times. And I don't want you to get really, really scrupulous about saying good enough because it was only a headache. If it's pain to you, then it's pain. You can use a small one over your eye, over both eyes. You can use it over your sinus. And you can use, unlike hypnosis or meditative practices, you can use a myriad of them, but make sure you name them. In other words, this is for my elbow, this is for my shoulder, this is for my chin or my jaw. And I guarantee you, when you lie there in the quiet, you will never feel anything that pulsates like this does. When it begins to pulsate, please do not be frightened. The star, which has been an ancient symbol, seems to be almost a doorway to the light. It seems to bring in the light. I think that's why Judaic use stars. I think that's why the Islamic use the star, whether it's 4 points, 6 points, regardless 5 points. It's been used throughout history to emulate. It also was supposed to have been the thing that would shine when any Messiah was born. It's always had great prominence in all of literature, as well as the ancient lore of mythology.
Mm-hmm. Integrated.
There we go. I thought about the now granted we get to use it ahead of time because we listen to these ahead of time.
Yeah.
I've been working on a tooth. So I've been putting that star on a tooth, and it's been helping. But I've also been putting that star on my forehead to help, as she first spoke about, was calming the mind. And so I'm not so much clenching my jaw to reduce the amount of, part of the reason that the tooth is giving me trouble is because I'm, when under tension, tension and stress, I tend to, clench my teeth, which stresses the teeth out. So that's what I've been using that with. It's been helpful.
That's smart. That's smart. Yeah, I've been using it on my head as well. I had years ago I had a particularly bad concussion that was quite impactful. And so I've been using the star in that area that got the impact. Even though it's been years later, I'm still interested in promoting that healing because there's nothing a doctor or a pill can do about it anymore. It's an old injury. And so I've been using the star on that area, and it is amazing. Like, I can actually feel my brain, like my skin, heat up and buzz. It's really, really cool. So
Wow.
yeah.
I don't, me personally, I ask for things, but I don't always get the sensation that something's going on. I hear it from other people, but I don't always get it. So it's fun to hear people's response or people's results.
There's a couple comments in our chats that I wanted to mention. First is that, oh goodness, somebody had a prayer request. I'll find you in a second. Jill says, Tom, I have the same problem with my nonstop busy mind, and I also end up with sore teeth and jaw.
Okay.
Darn it.
Yeah.
And also, as Aaron was asking if we can also use the star for the virus, the coronavirus, which I would say absolutely we can. What?
But where do you put it? That's the fun part.
Yeah, where do we put it? Maybe on
yeah.
our glands?
What does it? Well, the thing is, yes, you could probably put, like, I don't know, maybe a bunch of tiny little stars to attack or to protect whatever it's supposed to affect, whatever we've been told that it's supposed to affect. So think of it as
that's a good point.
whichever.
A star on the upper chest.
There you go.
Star on the lungs.
To also help with our immune system, to boost our immune system as well. There's various parts of our immune system from what's not just the thyroid, but there's another gland in here, and anyway, there's various glands. Back to sorry, who the lady that was saying she has the same issues I do with the clenching and
Jill.
yeah, thank you. I've been working on, instead of caffeine, I'm almost like, well, I shouldn't say I'm out of. I've stopped doing heavy caffeine and coffee in the morning. So now it's potassium and vitamin C in the form of orange juice. So I do greens, but the other part too, the potassium also is supposed to help relax the system. So it works very different than caffeine, but it's supposed to provide the same energy boost or similar energy boost. It just works very different. So you got to research how that does. I was excited when I found out.
Yeah, definitely. Very good tip.
Sorry, I'm taking away from the other one too, but I thought I'd throw that in there. The potassium and the vitamin C. Vitamin C also builds our immune system too.
Yes, it does. And we cannot, according to Francine, they are very adamant on the other side that we cannot have too much vitamin C. We cannot have too much. So don't worry about that according to our recommendations. Again, we are not doctors, but that's the official
build up,
word.
Build up and see what works for you.
Yeah.
I've done in the past. I think I'm around. I try and get like 1,000 to 2,000 a day now. I think you're still higher than that. I've done more than that in the past. I've been like around 6,000 a day, but they're time release. So yeah, I take them all. I used to take the time release all at once, but now I do like one in the morning and 1,000 in the in the evening or something, with my cup of orange juice that gives some potassium. So now I'm not.
Smart.
I don't feel so reliant on caffeine.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I need to go in that direction myself. So I'll use that as inspiration. Thank you.
Yeah, keep a big section in the fridge for a gallon of orange juice.
Definitely. So a few more comments I wanted to mention. Jupiter de Fuego is requesting prayers for her stepmother who passed away from COVID. God bless you. I'm so sorry for your loss. Please take care of yourselves, and they'll light a candle for her and for your family for sure. And Aaron, let's see here. Oh, Jill says, thank you, Tom. Good advice. I do need to cut down on the caffeine. I am also in the same boat. Excuse me. And then Aaron says, does anyone know why we have the virus in the first place? I know that Sylvia predicted the virus was way before it. Sylvia predicted the virus way before. So what is the purpose of it? And I've got some thoughts, but I was curious if you have had some thoughts. Because I think this is a good conversation from a spiritual perspective.
No, these are our our personal thoughts on this. So that's a fun. It's coming together. I mean, in essence, it's like encouraging us to work together, even though it's causing people are panicking, are getting into are agitated about it. But I think it's intended for us. It's a lesson for us to work together. And
That's
of
well
course
said.
we're seeing that we're not. There's many that are agreeing with, and many that are not. And so that just adds to the diversity of our lesson here. What was? Oh, no. One of the purposes behind, in the publications, there's talk about the earthquake that California was supposed to fall apart, and it didn't. Well, we were told that was going to change, that adjusted. Well, okay, we didn't get an update from that either. However, we had 9/11, the attack in New York. And what purpose did that serve? We came together.
We did come together.
Yeah. There was a big push and urge, and hey, let's all work together. And that's what I think this pandemic is doing. It's encouraging us, but it's also causing agitation, and others are discouraging from working together. So there's many sides to it. I thought of what was it? So think of polars, and what is it? Everything in moderation. So that's kind of like, to me, that's like centering. If you're extremes, that's the outside. Your pendulum is swinging, and what's pulling on that? To interpret that as that's negativity. Negativity of some form is pulling to extremes, and it's the moderation that we need to be in the middle. Think in terms of we could think in terms of our politics. Our current system has two organizations, and I think it's negativity that's got the extremes trying to say we're right, we're right, we're right. I'm right, you're wrong, and it's the negativity that's causing the extremes, encouraging the extremes, where it's discouraging us from working together.
Oh, that is well said. Yeah, we have to. We know that planet Earth has a chart, just as every individual has a chart, every person has a chart, nations have a chart, areas have a chart, and so the planet also has a chart as well. And we've heard from Francine and Raheem throughout the duration of all of the trances that that around this time period, things are going to get really, really challenging to Earth's chart and to America's chart, especially because we were supposed to have Earth changes, but we didn't. And so, this is a test period that we kind of knew was going to be a test period, but we didn't know what it was going to look like. And now that we're here, it is not pretty. It is really, really challenging for every single person. So it's what Francine has always said about major test periods is that it's a time for spirituality, and it's a time for for genuinely finding ways to come together to support each other and to support one another, which is made even more difficult by the fact that we have social distancing as factored into the equation. So it's a beautiful thing that we can be here virtually and feel each other's love here this way. This is great. This is one of many tools, but if there's ways that you can support another person in your life, say like, hey, I've got a recommendation for a job or a recommendation for a better place to live. It's a hands-on time from what I see, because throughout the trances about the earth changes that again didn't happen, because we've gone a different route, and as they're gonna do what as they're gonna do, but it was a really, really hands-on time that was described in the trances. If we had gone through earth changes, we were going to have to be very, very hands-on about rebuilding our lives, and that is what's happening for many people right now, is that we are hands-on trying to rebuild our lives. But it's a beautiful thing that we can just take a step back, be together with our family as best as we can, support our loved ones as best as we can, and just remember that these very, very difficult and challenging times are here to help us grow spiritually, and to just be there for one another as best we can. So
Yeah,
that's
fun.
That's my take on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. I'd love to hear, read comments from people. But I enjoyed those kind of, what does this all mean? What does this all, and you're talking about spirituality, and what was it? Francine was talking earlier about the part of some of it's meditation, but also I think of also the more you how do you say, trying to say it the a helpful way. The more you absorb, the more this makes sense to you. The more you read through this, that it resonates for you. You step beyond that faith that most people talk about. Faith in God, faith in your fellow man. Faith. No, it's knowledge. You'll get the experience that then it becomes knowledge that yes, there is the other side. Yes, they are there. Yes, we are here. We are challenged, but we're going to get through it. We just have to step up and get through it, and that's where through the challenges and standing up and moving our confidence. Thank you. I think it was spiritual confidence.
Spiritual confidence. I like that.
So each time, the next time the negativity shows up, oh, okay, I did this before. I recognize this. We can keep going. And what I was thinking earlier when she was talking about recognizing the other side, that there is the other side. God's there, and we're spiritually connected. That reminds me of how significant for many people when they come to their spirituality. And our philosophy, you practice things and boom, you're gonna get hit with that. If your soul hasn't seen it in a while or recognized or felt it in a while, you'll get it, and you'll go, oh, and it's so relaxing on a not a soul level. And being human, your physical self says, oh, it's okay. Yes, this is a challenge, but we're gonna get through this.
Yes, we are going to get through this, and we're going to get through it together. One way or another, we will get through this together. Okay, shall we move on to the next segment?
Moving on. I'm like,
Right.
where do we draw the line?
I know.
We could go
I know.
on and on, and anyway, that was fun. Well, tell me what's next, and I'll select.
Okay.
Well, tell me. Read the next section while I get this ready. If
Okay.
you would.
All right. So the next section was hard to write up because everything would have just been spoilers. So I'm going to say that the next segment we are going to be talking about the star tool and how to use it. It's just for you. You use it 3 times a week for it to have the best effect, you don't want to go over, you don't want to go under. You can use several stars at once. And I don't want to say anything else because it's just spoilers and I wasn't sure what else to write. So I'm just going to leave it there.
Yeah, listen in.
Listen.
We're like holding our lips here.
I know.
Okay, so the meditation is the third part. Fortunately, this
Yes.
time, because that's how we typically do. So we'll let you. We'll keep a heads up for that. So anyway, take notes.
The pentagrams, the mythologies of Greek and Roman both, always look to the stars to be a symbol of heavenly intervention. Now you're going to use it. You're going to bring them down out of the sky and put them on you. And in doing so, you're going to find that if used with right motive, you're going to find that your basic self will resonate to the higher self and seem to seal this together. It seems to bring with it, like I said, a very silvery white light that seems to burn out illness. Let's call it the other side's laser. There have been cases that we have reported back. The other guys have told me that they've used this with some of their people, and I might add, not nearly as advanced as you, that really have gotten rid of a lot of problems within their body, even to have tumors and things diminished and go back to a doctor and find out that it was really taken care of. And I don't want to get your hopes up, I just know how powerful this mythology can be. Yes.
Can you use it on your pets?
Pets won't have as much effect because it seems to be that you have to be the recipient and the donor and the receiver.
So then you can't use it on other people either?
This is one thing that is selfishly your own.
That's nice.
There's very few things that are. Yes.
Could a diabetic use this
For the pancreas.
Yes. How often? Because you said not to overuse it, so.
Not to overuse it, but I think in this case of diabetes, I think it would be very good to use at least 3 times a week.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Should you only use one area at a time?
No, you can use multiple areas. But if you're going to do that, then do the multiple areas at one time. If you're going to pick those areas, then use them 3 times a week. To do them every night is not going to have the impetus that it would 3 times a week. I have found, as many of the guys have found, that when used a lot, it's not that they use it up, but they become so euphoric, it's almost like trying to get them off of a drug. It makes you very euphoric. You can use it really in extreme tiredness, but it's sort of like one of those marvelous elixirs that you want to save for when you really need it. Not that it doesn't have power. It sounds like I'm saying that I'm talking in oxymoron terms. I'm not. I'm just saying that anything that is that blessed, I think, should be used sparingly or when needed. We notice that it carries great energy, but when not used as much, for some reason it carries more. So maybe it's some kind of recharging factor that happens, yes.
Francine, can it be used on several glands at the same time?
Several areas, several glands. I wouldn't use any more than 9, though. I wouldn't use any more than 9 stars at once.
Okay, and for addiction like alcoholism, where would we place the star?
I'd put it right in the middle of the eyes because, after all, everything is started in the mind. I might also put one on the pancreatic area because it's probably due to some problem with the pancreas or blood sugar.
Okay, thank you.
And also for addictions, it works very well too, of any kind. Yes.
What if this is an illness that you have written into your chart?
You can minimize it.
It would just help it. It would help you through that.
Lupus can be helped. Sciatica can be helped. Cancer can be helped. You see, you also got to realize you might have written in your chart that you got this information and did something about it.
I got this information and did something about it?
Yeah.
You wrote in me.
Oh, you, okay, to help me
Yeah,
through this. Oh, okay, I understand now.
If it's that exhilarating, should we do it in the morning rather than at night?
You can. You can to give yourself energy because you've needed a lot of energy. So I would do it in the morning, yes.
How long should we leave the star on? Should it be?
I would leave it on for at least 5 or 6 minutes. The longer you leave it on, the better it's going to be.
Like on average of 10 minutes?
You could 10 minutes, 15 minutes if you can do that. If you can't, then I would just do it for about 5 minutes. I think anybody can do anything for 5 minutes. You'll find the longer you leave it on, the more power it gets. And you really can heat up with this, so don't be afraid if you begin to heat up with it. It's not going to hurt any of your organs. It's no way it's going to hurt any of your organs. Yes.
If you put it on and then just fall asleep?
Oh, it's all right. It just, the light goes out. You don't get. I'm having trouble with that air on me.
Too much here?
No, it's just hurting her eyes and
Too dry. You want it all?
No, just put it down inside. Yes, I'm sorry.
Silver blue, you mentioned it for the star, but you mentioned it before as a net.
Yes.
To be
you
called
trap.
only in extreme cases.
Exactly.
What is it about the silver blue that carries such enormous power?
Well, I think it comes from the Mother God, part of her colors that she resonates to. And because it's her colors that she resonates to, she also resonates to gold, as you well know. But the silver blue, more than any other color in the universe, carries with it the healing. I know you think green, and that should always be used for people that are in dealing with service to people, that use the emerald green light all down the front of their body. But when you really, really want, I'm sorry.
It seems like you're still getting blown on.
I'm not noticing it. Why am I acting?
The hair is up.
Concern with the ice. But
I don't feel anything. I was just told by Raheem that I'm blinking a lot, so I'm not aware that anything's going on. So you have to be the ones that say, because I have no feeling in that part of the body. I just use it. I don't feel it. Yes.
Is this just for pain, or can we use this when there's symptoms of something?
Absolutely.
So
both. For tiredness, symptoms, fear of, that there could be something going on, yes, use it.
And if it's skin, or you see that's like these are symptoms, if you want to know where the source is, we just ask our guides.
And you might find that as you get very astute with this, that you might have the star on your cheek, and for some reason you keep feeling pulled to your throat.
Right.
Then let it go to your throat. You say, why does the star in my mind keep moving? It's because the guide is pushing it where it should be.
Can you put it on somebody else who might think this is kind of a ridiculous thing to do, but you know the thing?
This is one of the, I guess you might say, this is one thing that is totally yours tonight. You can ask for it, but it won't come. It won't come. It'd be nice. You can white light people, you can net them. And to answer your question, the silver net is to protect you from any evil. And I also told you to use that sparingly also. The silver blue, I think it's really her wand. I mean, it always comes and seems to sweep across the earth with silver blue, so it carries a lot of power. She's getting ready to appear again, and we'll talk about that a little later. Yes.
Is it all right to tell other people about this technique?
Absolutely. Absolutely, you may. And you'll find that people will just resonate to it immediately. And if you use it even tonight, I guarantee you, are going to go, wow.
No comment. Just listen. It's like, she said it. I don't have 2 bits to put on it.
I know.
What is,
I know.
really, you too?
I'm going to. You know what? We can talk about some star lore. How's that? About
Okay.
what stars symbolize. Okay. So stars are. We learned a couple of episodes back that stars are Father God's symbol. And MIT Mercedes Vargas shared earlier in chat that in one of the episodes, King Solomon was the first person to ever wear a star as a symbol, as a direct infusion from God to encompass protecting the tribal people. So I remember Francine describing that you can use a star or wear a star, and it could be many pointed stars. It can be 6-pointed, 5-pointed, but for each arm of the star, you put you visualize somebody's name in it, and that's someone that, and then that person is protected by the star because they're part of it. And so that's one way that you can use a star to in other ways when you're doing your meditations. So
Cool. Fun.
Do you
Appreciate
know
that.
other things about stars?
No, not that now. I don't have nothing pops to mind for other than
Okay. Yeah.
it's used. Many times. I'm trying to remember. Oh, we have heard. I can't remember where, if it's coming or if it's been. There's a meditation from the trances that you're supposed to envision the velvet black sky, and there's a single point out in the out on that black velvet that eventually comes to you and becomes used as part of the meditation. Yeah,
Nice.
so it's a fun symbol that's used quite a bit.
Beautiful. Yeah. Okay, I found where Francine found, excuse me. Mercedes, MIT Mercedes, shares that there's more about star symbolism in Trance number 5, episode 66. Trance, episode from Spirits 5, episode 66. Oh my gosh, what a tongue twister. I'm just stumbling over everything.
Not only that.
My apologies.
Not only that, thank you for the index. Thank you for telling us where to find it. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Mercedes. It's awesome.
So you should be able to go to, currently, you can still go to Blog Talk Radio and look up the on-demands. As of last year, from last year and beyond, those are still available to go look up. Going forward, what we've done this year, you'll find those on Facebook and YouTube for a term. We've yet to evolve on and beyond, but hey, we'll let you know. So appreciate that reference point. Very helpful.
Yes. Jill summed up what I was trying to say, and I was stumbling over my words. Jill said she was remembering a lesson on the star protection. You draw one star with as many points as you need, and you put your loved one's name in each point, in each arm, and then a circle around it, and that's the star protection. That's one of the meditations for it. So,
fun.
Thank you, Jill. Good memory. Kudos. All right. I don't know. Do you have anything else to think about?
No.
All right.
Yeah, my page is blank over here. I was like,
I know.
This is like
I know. It was very straightforward. Very straightforward information today.
Let's see. Fun. Okay. Well, then next is it's it's the full trance segment, but in the middle of it is a meditation. So find yourself that, a comfortable place, and you don't have to do anything elaborate. Just sit upright in a chair and listen to this meditation and follow along. So yes, normally I add my 2 bits and before and after on others, but this one's just going to go right in it. You'll hear the introduction and go with it. Let's see. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else, but nope. I guess this. I've been chatting so much here. I just almost realized I don't think I've set this up. Did you describe it?
Okay.
Done the description yet?
I have not done this description yet, but
Okay.
let me get it set up here. All right. So, for mental distress, put a star between your eyes, and then sit back and enjoy this amazing meditation as we listen to Francine give an example of how to use the star tool meditation.
Cool. And
All right.
listen and make notes later.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Francine, is this something that we could use as a practitioner doing maybe an acupressure session on someone to where maybe you want to do a meditation in conjunction with and walk them through having them play?
Yes, if they put, for instance, let's say you're doing hypnotherapy, you're doing therapy on them, you're doing massage, and they tell you where their pain is. You tell them to visualize a star. Then on top of the star, you put your hands. Now, this is going to give you a double whammy. This is the only time it will. Is that you've now utilized their star. You could even try to assimilate, but most of the time it'll just come to you. But you could certainly add your energy. Yes.
What about healing mental or emotional phobias or anything?
Put it right in the center. Put it right in the center of the forehead. It'll really make your mind calm. It will really make your mind peaceful. Yes.
How long should the visualization last for?
All right, let me show you. Can I show you? I'd like to show you. I want you to put your hands upward on your thighs. Let me show you how marvelously this works. And I want you to take a deep breath. And let's use the golden net around us tonight, because I think we're all kind of tired and beaten up by the world and everything that's going on, and the death and the dying and the hurt. So let's silver net ourselves and take a deep breath. And I want you to feel God's presence around you. I want you to feel that the Christ is with you. The Christ should be referred to. The true Christ. Also that the Mother Goddess is with you. And in front of your eyes, the top part, looking up at your forehead, I want you to begin to see or visualize a very quiet velvet black sky. The sky is so black and velvet that it seems endless. All of a sudden moving from left to right until it gets right in the middle of your vision. Right in the middle of where your point or apex of your forehead, right between your eyebrows, you can see this star. Very tiny at first, but even with a slight squint, you can see that it is silver blue. And all of a sudden, in an instant, split motion, the star becomes bigger, twirling through space until it beams right down on your forehead. You may lift your eyes to look, But it's so bright, you almost have to keep your eyes closed. Every once in a while you can sneak a look. It will not hurt your eyes, not your physical eyes. And then eventually your soul eyes will get used to it. It's so bright, it almost looks like a spotlight, that when you look at a spotlight, you can almost see the fragments of dust in the air. This is how bright it is. And the longer you look at it, the easier it becomes for you to see it. You begin to marvel at that it begins to be almost glittery, silver, crystalline-like, until it almost becomes opaque in its beauty, reflected. And as you're feeling it pulsate in the middle of your forehead, not an unpleasant feeling, but a slight throbbing motion, slight pulsating motion to relax your mind, to let its beams go down through your body, even though you're not addressing other parts of the body. You're addressing the mind. You're addressing the crown and the pituitary chakra, the pineal and pituitary chakra, because it's riveting into both. Feel the quiet, peaceful. And as this star penetrating your mind with the blessedness of grace, goodness, positive energy, feel yourself become renewed, almost as if you're shedding some old skins, the old phobias, the old frights, all the things that you thought were important begin to fall. All the old paranoias, the indecisions. And it seems like with each thing we speak, whether it's phobias, paranoia, it's almost as if the star pulsates stronger. So that in its strength, it seems like it's setting up its own battle and not giving up. That it will survive, that it will get rid of the demons that walk in our mind, the darkness that invades us from the world outside. And yet always you keeping your own identity, always you keeping your own self to yourself. You always keeping control of yourself. Feel yourself with a great breath, letting go. And ask at this moment the most pivotal thing. This time, do not ask for anything material, not in this context. Anything that's going to give you energy, motivation, health, anything that has to do with the physical body and the mental body and the soul. And with a quiet peace, begin to bring yourself up, all the way up, feeling absolutely marvelous, better than you've ever felt before. On the count of 3, bring yourself all the way up. 1, 2, 3. That lasted a very few minutes. Did you feel it?
My God. What a tunnel. It was the tunnel. I wanted to fall into it. It goes away. It was enormously excellent.
It heats you up, yes, tremendously.
Oh, yeah.
It's very much like what we call the spiritual laser.
It seemed like it shone straight through my soul, infinitely far that way.
Mm-hmm.
It came from infinitely far that way. Lovely.
Did any of you feel the pulsation? Did any of you feel the pulsing, tingling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That takes a bit to come back from.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel the pulsing sensation?
No, not so much. I just visualize and see, and I know over time, I feel adjustments over time, but not the the current or the what's going on visually.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, yeah, I feel I definitely felt just this pulsing on my mind. It's a really, really beautiful sensation, and it looks like in chat, Gibson says that her right hand is hot and really heavy. Aaron says that the silver blue star gave off a pulse. That's really cool. I hope that everyone uses this 3 times a week, 3 times this week. So
and watch for changes in your thought process. How you
good point.
how you your perspective of the world, your perspective of what you're dealing with. That you're this is another form of letting things go, and you may find yourself in. Well, here's the other thing too. I tell your guide, point these things out when there's a change. I used to just walk around like okay, and I finally said, okay, tell me when things are adjusted. Tell me when so I recognize the difference, the change, and tell your guide to poke at you or bring something to mind or to remind you of it, and they go, oh, okay, now I see an adjustment. Now I see recognize the change in things. So watch for those. Watch for how you see things different, how you react different, to situations.
That is very well said. I told my guide when I was a kid that if I'm doing something that she really, really likes, to ring one ear, and if I'm about to step into some nonsense and I need to proceed with caution, ring the opposite ear. And so that's the system that we have. And it the 2 times where I argued with her and I decided to go ahead and step in it, they ended in disaster. It was awful. It was so bad. So I don't argue with that. But anyway, I think that's a brilliant point. Work out a system with your guide to let you know when you are doing something. When you're like, hey, not only am I getting a message, but hey, pay attention, I'm getting a message. So I always ask for, I have a system with my ears ringing, and so I don't argue with it anymore.
Recall. Note with that, in past trances, somewhere in the ethers, we've been suggested to stop and say out loud, give your guide permission to read your mind, because they can.
Yes.
And that helps them be better at coming up, giving you clues, giving you ideas, poking you, pushing you in different ways when they understand what your mind thought, your thought process is. Where are you heading? Also, for when we've got mind matter, when if they're reading our mind and we're not paying attention and we're like, in the back of our mind, have asked them to point that out, do something to point that out. I think it's fun. You've got the one ear or the other ringing. I've never identified I've never asked to identify. Tell me, one means one and one means the other. I've never done that. I just what I'm currently doing to give them awareness When I hear my ear ring, I'm going to raise my hand, or if I'm in a crowd, I'll touch my shoulder instead of like raising my hand randomly.
That's smart.
So they know which ear's ringing, that they've got it, that I'm hearing it. The challenge is I have not, and yes, we need to keep pestering our guides for it, is to tune us in. I don't hear the audible. All I hear is the tone. Yes, over time, I think I could get to where I hear what Sylvia would, as Sylvia would hear. There are people that do that, that hear their guide audibly as if they're standing there. So anyway, that's a challenge to work at too, something to work at too. Hi, kitty, kitty, kitty,
Hi.
kitty.
This is Floofy. He's very sweet. He's been hanging out with. He usually hangs out right here on my lap every episode. So there he is.
Comfy.
Yeah, he's comfortable.
So let's see. Did we hit our point across?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Aaron makes a comment saying the problem is when you are in a crowd and they are trying to get your attention. LOL. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, still be quieting your mind. And the quieter your mind is, you'll start to recognize when, and it took me time personally. You know, I didn't start this yesterday. It does take time, but the quieter your mind is, the quieter you are, the faster you'll recognize when you're not. It's not your thoughts. Something else gets dropped into you. You know, that's part of the spirituality, psychic ability. Why were you told to go look at that, you know, book in the library? Why did that seem to want to jump out at you? Why did you choose to, oh, this sounds like a fun idea, let's go try this, and it results in something? You know, you'll start to recognize when it's from another source, and you know, that's a fun learning experience.
Yeah, definitely. Mercedes says Raheem stated in Trance to always pay attention when something happens to you in threes. So that is another really reliable way of knowing if a guide is trying to get your attention with something.
There you go.
Something happens in threes. And to clarify, Gibson, his name is Floofy. So instead of Fluff, he is a floof. It's very
FLOOFY.
FLOOFY.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right.
All right.
As long as we say it right, we should recognize it.
Cool.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna put us through another meditation because that one's pretty powerful
So
there. Which you can always
effective
come
and
back
powerful.
and listen to that. If you have any questions about what we shared, feel free to post in chat or email us questions to cat@novus.org or tom@novus.org. Say it. Should I put marbles in there to force me to learn how to pronounce better? No, that's an old trick. We appreciate the listeners, both live and on demand. Show your appreciation for New Spirit Radio by sharing, promoting, liking, subscribing, clicking the bells, and making sure that everyone else hears about us, that you think it's important to. Check out our websites, novus.org, sylviabrowne.com, and we're supposed to go look at chrisrightnow.com too. That's one of my duties this probably tonight. I should do that this week.
Nice.
We cover Facebook at Society of Novus Spiritus, Sylvia Browne Group, New Spirit Radio Show, and various Novus Spiritus study groups. We're on YouTube because you're probably watching us. Look for study groups if you want to donate. Yes, we encourage donating. You can go to our website and donate there, and if you'd like to get something in return, start a study group. Look on the website to learn more about the program, and let's see, you'll get some things that go along with that, so read more about that on there. Amazon Smile, if you love to spend on Amazon and purchase things and wonder if they're going to get to your front porch, sign up for Amazon Smile and then suggest to make your donations to Society of Novus Spiritus, as that's the nonprofit you want to choose. Church services, watch for Sunday services, recordings on Facebook and YouTube. I'm playing and presenting classics of Larry and Sylvia, things that you haven't heard from
Very
even in the
cool.
study groups.
Very
I'd be
cool.
hard to find that you'll hear those. So hey, some unique stuff. If you'd like to participate in a special service Zoom session, put your email into the website and you'll get a notice when Reverend Ellen Schloss is going to be hosting those service service as well. Now is the Novena. For those of you that are new, a Novena is a special prayer. It's about asking for things for yourself, for others, and for our getting our knowledge out. I'm going to say a phrase, and everybody's going to say it along with me, and it doesn't matter when or where you are because there is no time on the other side. So this phrase is, I am God, I am part of God, I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now we're going to say this 3 times together, and then I'll tell you what to think about, what to ask for after each one. So there'll be 3 parts to this. Take a deep breath here and let's envision all of ourselves. We're holding hands together, regardless of when or where we are, that we're connecting and creating synergism for everyone that we're asking for. So, we'll get started here. Ready? I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, ask for things for yourself. Okay. The next one. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, ask for things for others. Okay, and the last one. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, picture our light like a beacon going out for others seeking this spiritual knowledge. That we become the light for them to follow and come to us, ask us questions, and learn about our philosophy.
Amen.
Oops. Oh, you went away.
Oh no.
Like, moving screens around, and anyway, that's how that Windows works. Let's see. To conclude here, show your appreciation to Francine and Rahim. How? By using their the techniques that they're sharing with us, and maybe ask them for help, or have your guide go bug them and help you learn things from it. So Francine and Rahim for researching all of this wonderful knowledge. Of course, Sylvia for coming to this insane asylum of the universe to start this movement, and for showing us how to get some peace of mind and grace while we're here. Asna for helping us and protecting us. Father God for providing the most prestigious school for us to experience, learn, and satisfy our unique spark of curiosity. Bob Ingold for the beautiful graphics and helping with the audio. Sammy and Javon for the wonderful intro-outro music. Writing, setting up, hosting for our show is MIT Catherine Taylor. Editing, technical direction, and hosting is Reverend Tom Bigley. Now, if I can find it without getting lost, a prayer from Sylvia. Where? Oh. No, don't stop that. Oh, here we go. Benediction. It's the
All right.
Prayer of benediction.
Oh, nice.
So, and then we'll end from there. Yep, that's what we're supposed to do. So let's see how this works out.
Benediction, a Gnostic blessing. Blessed be God, the Father. Blessed be his holy name. Blessed be the name of Asna. Blessed be her holy name. Blessed be the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Blessed be his holy name. Blessed be the archetypes that protect us. Blessed be their holy names. Blessed be our spirit guides. Blessed be all their holy names. Blessed be everyone here today. Blessed be all our names. Blessed be our loved ones not present. Blessed be all their names. Amen.
And have something. What do you like to say?
Love to say we love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Good night.
See you later.
You as if you were not there. All praise went to the Father. We were so unaware that through the years you've shed your tears for all the pain we bear. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You've planted every blade of grass, creator of the stars. And when I'm feeling down and out, you mend my broken heart. So now I sing this song of thanks because of who you are. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your You're more than a friend to me. You give me everything I need. In your peace you hold me tight. You are the bringer of the light. With no fear we boldly stand, because you hold this world in your hands. You are the truth, you are the hope and love we never knew. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. Mother